They told us Hillary would win, and she lost. So why are we still trusting opinion polls? In the lead-up to the 2016 U.S. presidential election, almost every major poll pointed toward a Hillary Clinton victory. The headlines were confident, the numbers seemed decisive, and millions of Americans went to sleep the night before Election Day, thinking they knew what was coming. But when the results rolled in, it was Donald Trump, not Clinton, who came out on top. And with that shocking upset, the polling industry found itself in the hot seat. There was hand-wringing, panel discussions, media apologies, and promises of reform. The industry said it would get better, smarter, more accurate. New models would be tested, more diverse samples would be collected. But despite all that, polling continues to stumble in elections across the world, from the United States to the United Kingdom to Israel. And yet, these flawed numbers still drive headlines, influence donors, shake markets, and shape political strategy. Why? The truth is, polls often don't predict, they persuade. They create the illusion of momentum or collapse. They shape narratives, and sometimes they can even influence voter turnout. If your preferred candidate is trailing badly in the polls, you might decide to stay home. On the flip side, if they're surging, you might feel energized to vote or believe your vote isn't needed. Either way, the poll becomes part of the campaign machinery itself, not just a passive measurement. Some countries have already taken steps to push back against this influence. In France and Spain, the publication of opinion polls is banned during the final days of an election cycle to limit their sway over last-minute decisions. But what if we went even further? What if we banned the publication of opinion polls entirely? Not just right before an election, but at all times. The idea might sound extreme at first. After all, polling is seen as a democratic tool, a way to take the public's temperature. But when the thermometer is broken, you stop trusting the reading. Polls have become less about honest public sentiment and more about headlines, horse races, and hype. Worse still, the public often doesn't know how flawed they can be. Factors like small sample sizes, poorly worded questions, and outdated weighting methods can completely skew results. Pollsters defend themselves by saying they never promise certainty, only probability. But the problem is, the media treats those probabilities as predictions. Headlines that say, Clinton has a 90% chance of winning, sound like guarantees, not guesses. And when those guesses are wrong, trust in both journalism and democracy takes a hit. It's not just about 2016. We've seen polling misses in the 2020 U.S. election too, where Trump once again outperformed his numbers in key battleground states. We've seen similar upsets in Brexit, in Israeli elections, in Brazil, and beyond. Time and time again, polls shape expectations. And time again, reality breaks free from those expectations. The damage isn't just to accuracy, it's to credibility. The public feels misled, candidates feel misrepresented, and the entire democratic process feels more like a gambling table than a civic duty. The media should be holding power to account, not just tracking poll numbers like stock prices. Because at some point, the obsession with who's ahead replaces asking why they're even running. Maybe it's time we ask ourselves, are we better off without them? Without the constant stream of numbers and trends, maybe campaigns would have to focus more on real issues than on spinning data. Maybe voters would listen more to candidates than to pundits. Maybe democracy would feel a little less like a guessing game and a little more like a conversation. Until polling becomes genuinely reliable, or at least treated with the caution it deserves, some say it's time to unplug the numbers, because in a world where public opinion shifts by the hour, pretending we can pin it down with a single poll may do more harm than good.